Hey guys, this is a third video for the Black Panther podcast. So today is going to work a little different. I'm going to basically have two videos being uploaded at some point today. Today's video is this first video is just initial planning of how my day is kind of going to go. Later today I will be doing lunch with a good friend of mine. He and I will later do a podcast section, basically questions and answers of who he is, what type of project he is working on, and those sorts of things. So this first bit of the video is just inspirations, or basically where I'm going to go with my day today. Today's topic is just going to be about change. So that being said, change is always good. That's basically I can go into this in a further detail at a later date. That'll be going from changes of child, teenaging, and then to adulting. So seasons of change, that's another thing. Like, you're obviously 4 seasons. I alluded to the fact that winter in Saskatchewan is brutal. Cold, cold, cold. And what makes up for it is our summer months. And our springs are beautiful. Obviously summer is really, really that much more better. That much more better, yeah. Accepting change. Basically when and for myself at work, things are going to definitely change here in a little while, for the better, which is fine. It's once you get your mind wrapped around the whole idea of change. That can look like anything different from not even just work, living arrangements, maybe a new car, maybe something different in your daily routine. And you're thinking, you know what, I can't do this, I don't want to. But change in the entirety is actually a good thing. That means there's new opportunities, change for growth, potentially a change in rate pay, and change in a good way with people that you might meet or get to meet. With that whole little wording that I just said there, that is a whole new opportunity then itself to start new friendships, new relationships. So in that sense, change is a wonderful and actually a beautiful thing. I've come across a lot of the friends that I have in the past 5 years, and my resume looks like hell. That because there's so many places that I did smaller stints to get to where I'm at today. I call those building blocks, basically. They built up my character, they built up my self-confidence, and they built up motivation for myself to get to a place where I never thought I would get to. With that, a lot of the people that I have met along the last 5 years, these are people that encourage me a lot along the way, whether I'm struggling with something at home, whether I'm struggling with something, insecurities or something like that at work. A lot of the people that I've met in the last 5 years, I wish I could list all those great people, but I do not have time for that, unfortunately. I tapped a lot of shoulders throughout the week, and I continually talk with these people that mean a whole lot to myself. They give me inspiration by encouraging words that they have said, and they say, oh, you're like, I can't even get into some of the conversations that I have had in the past with a lot of these great people. With that, I like to maintain relationships as much as I can. I sometimes don't get to see all these people that I want to see. I have to make time for that. Time is a valuable thing. That's another thing. That whole subject of time is something that I could probably go into in a later podcast. I'm getting all these ideas on the fly. So relevance of time and importance, and that's something that we can talk about later. But I wish I had more time to talk to all these great people that I meet along the way. Within passing at work, I gotta definitely do a 3-minute, 4-minute chat with people. when you get older, you will realize the importance of time. Um, like I said, I could ramble on about time, but I'm not to. It's going to be about change. So this first section is just about change. The outcome of change is obviously kind of alluded earlier is success, proactive changes. You look at people. I guess I look at people. Someone like Henry Ford. You think of a gentleman who made one of definitely America's greatest companies for sure, but he started off with a basic vehicle. Now when you look at Ford today, let's say 2017, you almost wish Henry Ford was here to see that, the progression of his changes, his efforts, and that success of where he started out something very small, and over here now you have this massive automotive company that's known worldwide. Starting out in America, and now it's this huge conglomerate company. So that's like I would say proactive changes, or successful changes. Again, there too, like the whole thing of change and success for myself, my personality definitely has changed in the last 3 years. I am more confident with myself. I feel that when I'm doing my sales bit at work, and I realize that things are clicking, like I have, okay, you went to this step, you're going to go to this next step, you're going to say this next step. When I do all those things and I'm looking at the customer and I'm getting a reaction from them, I fall in love with what I do at work. I get more confident and I start building it up. I build it up, I build it up. The whole sales process. This is something that I feel I do. Others that work with me, they might say, no, that's not how you do it, JD. You slowly get into it. But there's been times where I've all of a sudden I'm like, wait, slow down, slow down, slow down. You're going way too fast. Or you're building this thing up to be, they're not buying a car, they're buying something small, right? That's just the whole idea of confidence and change and who I have become in the last 3 years. That in its entirety, the whole word of confidence. I'm looking at this simple word on a sheet of paper that says confidence. That is something that I have struggled with at an early age. In high school, I was outgoing. I had a lot of friends that I would say hi and we'd chat with in different grades and in my own class. Was I a social butterfly as I am today? No. I talked about this with my friends at work, and I said if I was the person who I was today, or no, if I was the person who I was, now, in my high school body, in a high school scenario, I would have probably stood up for myself. I tended to get walked over completely. I was the quiet one in the room until something would ask opinions, and I would say something, and I realized, I'm very unsure of myself, and I would stumble through my thoughts, I'd stumble through my wordings, and it made me feel like, and 5 minutes, 10 minutes after what I've discussed or said, I realized, crap, I didn't stand up for myself. That person, whoever it was, they shot me down, they burned me, and I could have said this, I could have retorted, I could have, you can't go through life with a shoulda, woulda, couldas. That's something I learned about myself recently, of standing up for myself in a professional manner and getting my point across and conveyed to them in not a rude manner. And I don't think that's a bad thing, that I'm learning that now. Early on in being 29, with the places that I've worked at, there's definitely been times where I've stood my ground and said what I needed to say. Yes, you get reactions from people who say, well, this guy's just a rude, he's a jerk. Well, I guess if you knew me on a daily basis and you saw how I interact with people, at times I'm very hostile. I try to convince them, or I try to say what I actually mean without telling them to go screw themselves, basically. But I try to tell them in a nice way, in a nice roundabout way of, well, actually, this is my ideas. My favorite kind of thing at work is when people actually come up and they'll say, such and such a product is crap. It's brutal, it's garbage. And the fun part of that is turning it around and bringing it over to the good side. And when they start to realize, wait a second, that's actually correct. I've got these features here that are great. This aspect of this, whatever I'm trying to sell. And actually, you know what? It's actually really not that bad. I love wrapping people's minds around an idea. When they come in with an idea of, no, it's crap, it's never going to work, blah, blah, blah. And you bring them over to this side where it's, actually, I never thought of that. I could have done, I could see myself using that product now. That's even ties into this whole idea of change. A lot of people are set in their minds with certain products that I offer at my place of work, and there's no other option. That whole concept of change works well with this whole sales scenario. It's me, the guy, pushing them through, guiding them through a sales process, and bringing them to an end result of, yes, actually, I'm going to give that product a try. I love it, because it's like, yeah, I'm just feeding you information, you're taking it, you're processing it, and over here, you know what, we're going to go with this guy, with whatever product that I've discussed in detail and tried to build up. That's a whole other concept, and something that I could discuss further about is sales process. Like I said, I worked in a dealership setting, which is scary. I work in a setting now where it's the products that we offer aren't near as expensive as a $32,000, $35,000 vehicle. Life is always changing. I wish I could delve into more of those changing bits along the way. That's something we can definitely discuss further. This is just a small, like I said, it's alluding to getting the idea for myself of doing more videos and progressions of my topics that I want to discuss. I wasn't actually going to do a video today or this morning, but I felt, you know what, let's do it. Let's push yourself a little further, and go into the next segments at a later date. It'll be uploaded. I'm sure there's going to be 2 videos uploading today. I'm going to try to do videos every other day. I don't want to bog myself down with doing videos every single day. That is a lot of work, which I don't mind. But I also have to work on myself and actually spend time with family members and significant others and good friends. I can't completely consume all of my time to this. Though, at night it definitely keeps me up. I'm thinking of ideas. What can I do next? What's the next video going to look like? What am I going to talk about? I have all these topics that run up in my brain. I started carrying a notepad with me to work, to have ideas that I want to work on, or subject topics that I want to talk about. Like I said, a podcast, you can talk about anything you really want to under the sun. So stay tuned for that 4th video later today. Thanks for chiming in today, guys. Today actually is my Friday, and it is a Friday. So that is excellent in itself. I'm looking forward to see what the day actually brings. You guys take care. If you don't see me later on today or later this weekend, have an awesome weekend and take care.